Hi, this is Mardy once again and welcome to my channel. Our topic for today is all about the 10 noteworthy bug bodies and what they tell us. Dredged out of the past and hinting at violent mysteries, bug bodies intrigue and haunt us. The how of their existence is known. Bugs or cold weather swamps are excellent preservers of human bodies. The oxygen-free environment prevents decay and the excessive tannins. Naturally occurring chemicals used in tanning leather preserve organic materials such as bodies, including the soft tissues and the contents of the digestive tract. But why were they there? And why did so many die violently? Number 10. Whitey Girl. On May 12, 1897, Dutch peat cutters were in for quite a surprise while dredging peat from a steep wind bog near the village of Weerdinge in the Netherlands. Upon discovering a preserved body with fire-red hair, the peat cutters were horrified and ran away, convinced that they had seen the devil. They returned later that day to hide the body under some stacks of peat, where she remained until the local mayor found her 9 days later. The whitey girl wore a wooden cape and a noose that wrapped around her neck 3 times, suggesting she had been sacrificed or executed. A stab wound was also found near her collarbone. A CT scan suggests that she was about 16 at the time of death, and that she suffered from scoliosis. Carbon-14 dating suggests she may have died in the 1st century AD. Number 9. Weerdinge Couple or Weerdinge Man. The Weerdinge Men were 2 naked bug bodies found in Drenthe, the Netherlands, in the southern part of Bourtange Moor in 1904. Radiocarbon dating shows that the 2 likely died between 160 BC and 220 AD. At first, it was believed that one of the 2 bodies was female, which led to the name Weerdinge couple, or more popular, Mr. and Mrs. Venstra. Veen being the Dutch term for bug, and Venstra being a very common Dutch surname. The more complete Weerdinge man had a large wound on his chest, through which his intestines spilled out. Some observers believe that these point to a ritualistic purpose for the killing. Strabo, a Roman historian, recounts tales of Iron Age Europeans attempting to divine the future by reading entrails. The cause of death of the other Weerdinge man is unknown. Number 8. Elling Woman. Elling Woman is the name given to a well-preserved bug body that was discovered in Denmark during the first half of the 20th century. By then, this type of remains had already been found in Denmark's bogs for at least a century. For instance, one bug body unearthed in 1835 was thought to have belonged to a legendary Viking queen from the 18th century AD by the name of Gundhild. Subsequent research on bog bodies, however, have shown that this practice had existed at an earlier period of time. In the case of Elling Woman, for example, it was found that she had lived during the Iron Age of northwestern Europe. Number 7. Koelbjerg Man. The so-called Koelbjerg Man was discovered in 1941 in a pit bog near Odense in Denmark. Only the skull and a few bones were found rather than a complete skeleton. Carbon dating suggests that he died around 8000 BC during the time of the Megal-Motian culture in northern Europe. At the time of his death, he was about 25 years old. The remains exhibit no signs of violence, and it is possible that he simply drowned. Number 6. Toland Man. The story of Toland Man is like that of many of the other bog people discovered in the pit bogs of northern Europe. His remains were uncovered in 1950 by villagers in the town of Toland, Denmark, who were gathering peat for fuel. Like all the bog people, Toland Man showed signs of violent death. Nude but for a leather cap and a wild belt around his waist, the body was discovered with a rope tightly wound around his neck. Later research was to reveal that this Iron Age man had been hung in what is commonly thought now to be a ritual sacrifice. Number 5. Grauballe Man. Of the many ancient remains found preserved in bogs and marshes, perhaps the most interesting is the Grauballe Man. Discovered in a pit bog in Jutland, Denmark in 1952, experts believe that the man had his throat slit sometime in the 3rd century BC. His body was then dumped in the bog. He could have been killed in a ritualistic human sacrifice, or this could be very well be evidence of a 2,300-year-old murder. Number 4. Lindow Man. Lindow Man, also known as Lindow II and as Pit Marsh, is the preserved bog body of a man discovered in a pit bog at Lindow Moss near Welmslow in Cheshire, northwest England. The remains were found on August 1, 1984 by commercial pit cutters. At the time of death, Lindow Man was a healthy male in his mid-twenties and may have been a high social status as his body shows little evidence of having done heavy or rough physical labor during his lifetime. There has been debate over the reason for his death. His demise was violent and perhaps ritualistic. After a last meal of charred bread, Lindow Man was strangled and severely hit on his head, and his throat was cut. Dating the body has proven problematic, but it is thought that he was deposited into Lindow Moss face down sometime between 2 BC and 119 AD, in either the Iron Age or Romano-British period. Number 3. Old Croghan Man. Old Croghan Man is the name given to a well-preserved Iron Age bog body found in an Irish bog in June 2003. The remains are named after Croghan Hill, north of Dredged County, Offaly, near where the body was found. Old Croghan Man is believed to have died between 362 BCE and 175 BCE, making the body over 2,000 years old. Evidence indicates that the man was in his early 20s when he was killed. The body was naked except for a plaited leather band around his left arm. This likely indicates his status. A 2014 documentary suggested that the man was once a king and was sacrificed due to poor weather or harvest. These ancient tribes believed that this was caused by the failure of the king and he was responsible. Number 2. Clonycavan Man. In March 2003, a body was found by pit cutters in a bog in Clonycavan County, Meath. The gruesome discovery gave us an insight into how the Clonycavan Man was murdered over 2,000 years ago. After examination by the National Museum of Ireland and a team of international specialists, it was discovered the Clonycavan Man was from the Iron Age period. Radiocarbon dated his death to be between 392 BC and 2001 BC. After forensic examination by the Garda Technical Bureau, it was discovered the Clonycavan Man was murdered. He was in his early 20s at the time of his death, which most likely occurred during the summer month. His nose was broken, and he had a large wound from the nose to under his right eye, which was likely made by an axe. A deep wound on the top of his head, where parts of his brain were found, shows his skull was split open by the same sharp object. And the number 1 bug body found is the Bogston Man. Around 700 years ago, a young man who has come to be known as Bogston Man was struck 3 times on the head, then tossed into a pit bog and impaled with 3 wooden poles to prevent his body rising to the surface. What is the story behind the grisly ending of this young man's life, and why were his killers so determined to keep his body from ever surfacing? The body of Bogston Man was discovered in a pit bog in Bogston in Sweden during the first half of the 20th century. Based on his attire, which was relatively well preserved due to the waterlogged condition of the bog, it was concluded that Bogston Man lived in the 14th century. In addition, Bogston Man's clothing also suggests that he was a person of high social standing. Thank you very much for watching. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.